Line set covers are a great way to tidy up the installation of any split system or mini split air conditioning and heat pump system where the line set's traveling along the outside of the house, especially when the air handler's up high on the inside of wall with mini split systems, or when the air handler, furnace, or evaporator coil are up in an attic, as they are in some split systems. It doesn't look very good to have that line set moving along the outside of your house, and it's a big job to try to run it up between a finished wall and the outside wall. So these line set covers will make it look sharp. They come in white, ivory, and brown, so they'll match most exteriors, and they're really easy to use. You can see over here in this diagram the way that you would want to just have that line set covered up nicely so that the neighbors don't realize that you've got copper running up and down there. So there's a number of fittings you can use in order to get around any obstacles that you may have along the side of your house. There's first off the couplers that you'll need to connect together multiple lengths of line set cover. And then there's the various angled pieces that you'd need, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, that can get you around both vertically and horizontally any of those obstacles. And then for going into the house, you may be connecting up, like in that diagram, under the soffit, where you need to connect right under the roof overhang and have the line set go up that way into the attic, or directly into the wall. So you'd have a hole through the wall, and you'd bend your line set 90 degrees through that hole, and this will cover that up nicely. And then at the bottom, you'll have this end fitting that you custom cut to allow the line set to come out and connect to your condensing unit, and it gives you a nice clean look on the bottom. There's also, in case you've got tough obstacles, this flexible length, which will allow you to get around those as well. Here's the long piece that you would use, and it basically snaps together front to back, so you'll connect the back side of all of these fittings to the wall, and using the screws that are supplied with it and the knockout hole here that will knock out. You notice it's a slot rather than just a hole. That allows for the expansion of the PVC. As the weather changes outside, this is going to change size slightly, so that gives you a little bit of a gap there. As you're following the instructions, you'll see that with the fittings, you'll leave a bit of a gap as well for that expansion. And then those fittings, once you're up on the wall, go together really quite easily with a screw or a couple of screws, depending on the size of the fitting, and a screwdriver. And you're all set. You just finish it off with a bead of silicone caulk to keep out some of the extra moisture and any bugs trying to get in there. Let's go look at this on the wall. So here we are outside, and as you can see, the line set moving along the outside of the wall doesn't look so great. So let's cover it up. Now that you know how line set covers work, basically we're going to take apart the front and back halves of every fitting and length of line set cover that we're using and mount the back side to the exterior wall. So remember, you're going to use those knockout slots, not just drill a hole through, and leave that little 1/8" gap between any fittings and length of line set cover to allow for the expansion. Once that's all secured to the side of the home, then you're going to run your line set through it, like so. After that, once everything's in place, then you can take the front covers and attach them and use the screws to secure those fittings. Once you get the covers back in place, you're all set with a nice, tidy looking exterior to your home. No unsightly line set.